What's up guys, Racing Nation TV here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the IndyCar Series, and we are currently at Road America in the final corner in my car, because I'm an idiot and I forgot a tripod, but we're going to forget that, and let's just get into talking about what's going to happen this weekend and some championship thoughts and predictions. So first off, let's just briefly talk about the practice session that happened today. Obviously there's only one practice session on Fridays now. It started around 4, so late in the day, one of the last things to go out on track. It was a 45-minute session, so it pretty much translates to, I believe tomorrow the qualifying might be around this type of weather, so there were definitely a lot of guys pushing it out there. There was only one real incident, and that was Will Power going off in the grass in the second to last corner. Other than that, it was a pretty clean session. A lot of guys locking up, a lot of guys just trying to get a feel for the setup and just get dialed in for the rest of the weekend. We have 2 more practice sessions tomorrow, as well as qualifying with the race on Sunday. We don't have morning warm-ups again, which is kind of weird. But yeah, Romain Grosjean, P1 today. That's really impressive. Honestly, the 2 guys I was looking at going to the weekend was Pato Award and Alex Palou. Now those 2, we're going to talk a little bit about them in a minute, but I just want to go back to Romain Grosjean. Had a rough weekend in Detroit. First time coming to Road America, and I didn't even think about it until he went P1, but this is certainly a track that should fit his driving style, and he should be very strong this weekend. Now, before we talk about the championship picture, the biggest storyline probably going into this weekend are the substitute drivers. Now, sadly, Rinus Veekay earlier this week was involved in a bicycle accident while he was training during the week. I believe it was on Monday. He broke his collarbone, and obviously he's not able to race, and thoughts are with Rinus. Hope he heals up and is able to go by mid-Ohio. But on the brighter side of things, the guy getting the chance to fill in for Rinus is Oliver Askew, who drove in his rookie season last year for Aero McLaren SP and was the super sub for Felix Rosenqvist in race number 2 at Detroit. Speaking of Felix Rosenqvist, he was not cleared to run after this accident at Detroit in race number 1. Still, and the driver hopping into that seat, interesting enough, is Kevin Magnussen, ex-Formula 1 driver, currently driving for Chip Ganassi Racing and DPI in the Cadillac. Just won at Detroit, actually, and he's going to be racing in Hypercar for Peugeot next year. So yeah, he gets his IndyCar shot. There were a lot of talk and anticipation of hopefully wondering if Magnussen was going to be able to make an IndyCar start this season. I don't think people really expected him to be making his first start with Aero McLaren SP. I think a lot of people were going the Ganassi route. Obviously, circumstances here are the reason that he's able to do it, but hoping Felix can get back at Mid-Ohio just like Rinus, but yeah, it's definitely kind of thrown a curveball, and the interesting factor into this race is seeing Kevin Magnussen make his first ever IndyCar start. So that makes Grosjean, Magnussen, Ericsson, Chilton, Rossi, all ex-F1 drivers, or at least they've made starts, as in Rossi never did a full season. But yeah, Scott McLaughlin, Jimmy Johnson, all the names in the field just keeps growing when you add in Kevin Magnussen. It's going to be interesting. He looked pretty good in his first session. He, I believe, was 23rd behind Cody Ware, another driver making his first ever start. Teammates with Romain Grosjean with the Rick Ware Racing team with Dale Coyne Racing. In the 52 car, also sponsored by Nerdtech. A lot of people don't really think he's going to do that well, and I wouldn't say he's going to, do anything incredible, but I think he's going to surprise some people in, how well he'll be able to, manage the race and get to the end cleanly. I think he's going to have a solid, clean weekend. He's a road course guy, always has been, even though he's, in the rough equipment of NASCAR with his dad's team. I think he's going to do well this weekend. He's going to surprise some people with how maybe competitive he might be. But we'll have to obviously see. We'll see about that. So now we're going to talk about the championship picture and overall the race, because this is a very interesting race. Alex Palou in the 10 car, the car that won in race number 2, if you remember, with Felix Rosenqvist. Alex Palou himself actually got a podium last year in race number 1. Pato Award, the guy who won pole in race number 2 and led 40 laps before being overtaken by the 10 car in the final laps of the race. So you have the top 2 in the championship separated by 1 point in both the cars that finished 1-2 at the last race that we've had here at Road America. Now, so pretty much whoever you think's, it's 50-50 on who's going to outduel each other. I mean, I would say the pendulum kind of swings in Pato O'Ward's way, because I would tell you that Pato winning pole tomorrow, you could probably take that to the bank right now. He's just so good in qualifying. His aggressive driving style, he puts it all on the line, uses all the track, just maximizes the entire lap, because he's just that fast on raw pace. But I mean, when it comes down to the race, it's going to be a different story on whether or not we get to the end, and if Pato if he takes care of his tires, or what strategy is probably more important, what strategy Earl McLaren SP goes with, and whether or not they fumble the bag there, like they've proven they can do, just like at Barber. So other than that, a few names I'll throw out there: Graham Rahal, Takuma Sato as well, the whole Rahal team. I'd say they're an easy pick, no matter where they qualify tomorrow. I would say they're being criminally underrated this season. If you look at the stats, where they've qualified, they've been abysmal in qualifying, but you look at how many spots both Sato and Rahal make up in the race, and Rahal's a guy that I think could have won race number 1 if it wasn't for a pit stop issue, and I think he had a fast car for race number 2 if he wasn't involved in that lap 1 incident in turn number 2 with Will Power. So I mean, he's fast here, obviously, and I mean, with the season he's had, just criminally underrated. Besides his terrifying misfortune at the Indianapolis 500, he's had a top 10 every year, 8th in points. He's just he's so underrated this year. That's a name I think I'll throw out there that I think could do very well. And then obviously Grosjean, Will Power's a guy that could bounce back. He's had a mediocre season so far, but I mean, with going into the second half of the season, that's usually when Will is strongest, and he knows. I mean, he's at an all right first start of the season. He could really make up some spots in the points, possibly get in the top 5 in the second half. Scott Dixon, 3rd in the championship. Also got to bring up Joseph Newgarden. Those two are still in the championship hunt. They're a little bit further behind Palou, obviously, from Pato. But those two, Dixon and Newgarden, are both strong here. Penske's been kind of struggling this year. Not really struggling, but they've failed to win a race so far. So I mean, I would look at Dixon and Newgarden as well as some potential favorites going into the weekend. So I think that'll pretty much wrap it up. That's pretty much everything I've had to talk about so far. Let me know down in the comments, Pato O'Ward or Alex Palou. I'm going Pato. I'd be interested to see what you think down in the comments below. Who do you think's going to win this weekend? Do you think it's not going to be Palou or Pato? Go against my thoughts here? I don't know. I might be wrong, but just let me know down in the comments. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll be back for the rest of the weekend with some other content. And yeah, it's good to be back at Road America. It's so nice.